In yesterday's video, I started talking about like a mount I was making for this. I was trying to put it together and it didn't really work. This is as far as I've managed to get. It's all going wrong. And of course the reason it didn't work is because I was trying to do it in the middle of nowhere with no tools. But last night, I'm sorry I did it without you. I sort of put it together, I couldn't wait. So what's on here just now is one camera. In fact, what I will do is I will put a camera on this tripod, like so. I will film with this and then show you what I'm doing with this one. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to film with. I will stop this one recording now and I will switch it off. Obviously you're going to hear that the sound quality isn't as good. That's because it's just using the standard internal microphone, not this shotgun microphone that I use on this one, but it should do. So if I take this camera off, so this is the mount here. This here is a Joby Gorilla Grip or Gorilla mount. This is a Manfrotto ball mount, and instead of this going straight onto here, I've got a titanium plate in here which isn't strong enough, unfortunately. I made it out of 2mm plate, which it just wasn't strong enough. So if you look at this, too weak, but it's good enough for a test. And if you look here, 1, 2, 3. So the plan with this is I either have one camera on here, and that's my standard setup. That's how I do my filming. I film like this, I film like this. Now, you may be wondering, Magnus, why the big hoo-ha and the big deal about getting a couple of cameras on here? The reason for that is, if we go back to this camera here, when I show you something such as, oh, a spinner. I have a spinner in my pocket. Of course I have a spinner in my pocket. So when I show you this, you know, like it's not that good on close-ups. Like, it's compared to other cameras I've got. You know, the focusing is a little bit off, and you know, it takes a lot of effort. I've got to block out my beautiful face. I mean, obviously the world loses out there, but it is what it is. This is what I'm trying to do. Let's go back to the other camera now. What I'm trying to do is, if I switch this off, so I'm starting to get confused with all these different cameras. So we take this camera, we put it on the left one. So we got one camera there, and I'll get the other camera, and that camera goes on the right one. Now admittedly this gets ridiculously heavy now, but this is the setup here. Double camera. Now what this does is, if we go over to this camera now, what it does is, it does two things. It allows me to go, hey, take a look at this. And suddenly I'm switched to a camera with a macro lens. Look at the quality of that. It's a vast improvement, you know, and you can sort of really see the detail, you know, and so I can go from there and then I can just simply go back to this camera. Now, I'm almost certain you can detect that there's a little bit of shaking. The plates are wobbly, this plate isn't strong enough, and the other thing is, it's bloody heavy. Like, this must be like a 5 kilo setup. It's absolutely ridiculous, and this has been 2 minutes I've been recording now. You've only seen like 10 seconds, but you see that shaking? Just can't hold it up anymore. There we go, back to normal. So, it's kind of worked theoretically, but I'm going to be honest, it's too heavy. I don't think it's going to work. I'll try it in the next day or two, see how it goes. I have just purchased something. Well, I purchased it last week, but I'm only opening it now. I might not even open it today. I'll open it a little bit and show you. One part of it. We'll get the other parts. Top secret box. What I will do is open one part and show you what it is. I don't think I'll open it fully today, and the reason for that is I don't have the time to sort of dedicate to set it up fully, but we'll open this bit. So here we go here. This is actually an electronic thing. And what this does is it connects to a larger one that's similar, that's got an LCD display and that kind of thing. And what it does is, you can put a camera on here, and I'll show you, in fact I'll show you how. This is new to me, I've not actually done this before, so we'll see how it goes. Well, it screws on nice and easy, and it looks like it's getting screwed onto cork, so that's a good thing. So that goes like that, and what this does is rotates. So this will go on in here, it's like a set of tracks, and so that can go on there. I think it goes in the other one. Anyway, roughly speaking, it goes on there, and it goes like that. So you can control it from your iPhone, which is pretty cool. And you can set something to go like that. So when you see those cool shots, so let's say I'm trying to film this knife and it's down here, you know, I set this up like that, and it can do one of those cool cinematic shots where you see it traveling along. Now, whoa, it probably doesn't sound that exciting, but I think it'll work pretty well. And the reason for this small one is this small one goes together with the bigger one, so it can be going along like this, but it can also be turning. So you can have it set on kind of a focus point. So rather than just going like that, it will turn, it will go like that as it turns. Does that make sense? Either tomorrow or the day after or the day after that. I'm not sure which, because I've got to go to the new workshop. We're having lots of electrical work going on. The battery's about to die in this, so I'm going to be quick. I don't know when I'll get to it, but you know, I'll make a good video sort of showing off this, setting it up, that kind of thing. I think it'll be interesting. I think it should improve the videos, especially with the new milling machine. I'm back at the house now. What I thought I would share with you is some thoughts on a new machine I've been considering getting. Typically a machine is, you know, to improve, you know, the efficiency or to reduce costs or that kind of thing. The machine that I am thinking of getting will increase costs. That's right, increase costs. To produce my various titanium products, you know, pocket clip, pry bars, tweezers, things like that, the cost will increase. But here's the thing. The quality and consistency of the finish of the final product should go up a lot. I mean, it's already sort of as high as I can make it, you know, like with what I'm doing, but I always think it can be improved. I think things can always be improved, and it's just what do you want to concentrate on. And this machine is, you know, instead of using, like, I'll maybe talk about it down the line, but just briefly, instead of using, like, instead of getting sheet and using the water jet cutter and, you know, cutting like that, it actually uses like a thin wire. It's a lot slower, and you know, as part of that, you can't do as many in the same time, and you know, it's kind of therefore more expensive for that reason and a few other reasons that I won't go into just now. But you know, it's an interesting approach, is to, you know, like, because you always, I mean, if you can reduce the cost for yourself, you can reduce it for the customer, you know, you can sell more of them, you know, you can, you know, improve cash flow, things like that. There's all these different sort of approaches and that kind of thing. But increasing, like right now, I think I'm at a stage where I want to improve my products even more so. Like I really feel this particular machine will improve the quality, even though it's gonna improve, even though it's gonna increase the cost of production, and I'm fine with that. Like, here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of spinner videos lately, and as such, you know, I've attracted quite a wide audience. Like in the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've had about 2 million views on my various videos, around about that anyway, and it's attracted a lot of people. Like, some people were shocked enough to leave venomous comments that my spinners were going to cost more than $30. Not only that, they're going to cost more than $130. Like, so most of the people that view my videos, see my products, they're never going to buy. That's fine, you know, there's someone else is doing that market. Plastic spinners, cheaper spinners, aluminium spinners. Someone else, other businesses, other people creators, makers, they're supplying that market. Me, titanium, possibly tungsten, a spinner's not going to be less than $100, $120. It's just the economics of what I do, and you know, it's fine. You know, I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is putting out something that isn't the best that can be designed, the best that can be made. You know, I think long term. I don't think in terms of years. I think in terms of decades and decades and decades. Like, for instance, I had an email recently from someone who bought 2 titanium mechanical pencils for his sons, one for each of them, to be used in school. And I think his sons were quite young, like 8 or 9 or 10 years old. Like one was 8, one was 10, or close enough to that. And he wanted to know that the kids were going to be able to use them, that they were going to work, that they were going to last a long time. You know, and I could confidently, without any hesitation, I could say to him, these are they're gonna outlive you, they're gonna outlive your sons. These titanium mechanical pencils I'm making right now, I think they're $149 US on my website. I'm going to be putting them up to near 200 soon. It's just the economics of business. I cannot avoid it. And you know, I can confidently say they are going to last, not forever. Like, I don't know if they could last like millions of years. I'm not sure, but certainly hundreds of years. Probably thousands, maybe not the internal mechanism, but you know, certainly the titanium body will last thousands. Even underwater, isn't that amazing with titanium? Underwater, it will even last that long. Nothing happens to titanium. Hence why I make everything out of titanium. Like, I think in terms of decades, centuries, and forever. I think I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I hope this helps you understand where I'm coming from in terms of making my products. When I get comments saying your products are a rip-off and you know, and this and that, and you know, I understand that my products are not for everyone, that for a minority of people who appreciate quality, who understand, you know, the thought and development that goes into design, the cost of prototyping, you know, they understand that. And you know, and typically these customers, you know, they're different, they appreciate it, they understand the economics of buying the best is usually the best value. It's a big topic, and you know, I can sort of look back on my life, and you know, when I've bought something, I'm like, oh, why did I buy, you know, spend that much on that at the time, and look back on it, you know, looking back months or years later, go, oh, that was such a bargain. Usually because of the quality, the reliability, the experience, you know, all these things. It's such a big topic. I'll maybe cover it another day, but you know, hopefully this gets across to you what I'm about, why I design what I design, how I design it, the materials I use, and ultimately the cost, because cost is an issue for a lot of people, but it's usually like an issue for the people who would never even consider paying that amount of money for whatever it is. For the people who appreciate quality and all that stuff, the cost isn't that much of an issue. They understand it. And with that, I will leave you with a quote. It is by Masaki Imai, and he said, "The starting point for improvement is to recognize the need."